Hi, this is Dave. Say I had an idea based on a need. I was out canoe camping the other day with my buddy. I would like to in the future be able to do some backpack camping. However, packing 50-60 pounds on my back at my age is not a prudent thing to do. So I started researching mono carts and went through the garage a couple days ago and started finding odds and ends, and I'm going to see if I can put one together. So I've got a pair of crutches that one of my boys used when they had a sprained ankle. It's aluminum, and you can see I disassembled one of them. The other one's still pre-assembled. And then I've got a pair of wheels off of a lawnmower, and this is a rail for a closet organizer system, and it is 6 feet 6 inches long. I'm going to cut that into sections, and these are the shelves off of a file system or a closet system. A closet made is what that is, and so I'm going to see if I can use those too. I can use a hacksaw and cut it into 4 sections, roughly 20 inches long each, because I want to try to make 2 mono carts, one for me and one for my wife. I'm going to use a file to smooth off the edges. They're pretty sharp right now from using the hacksaw, so I'll just take that edge off. Now the next step in this project is to drill a hole to receive the shaft for the lawnmower wheel. So this is going to fit into this rail right here. So I'll mark where that fits on using a knife. Just scratch the paint. Use a 3/8 inch drill bit and a drill. That is not going to be sufficient size for a sufficient size for this, and so I'll have to grind it. I've got a grinding tip here. So it'll take a few minutes to get this done. I used a hammer and a nail set to punch a hole in the aluminum, actually a dent, so the drill bit doesn't go sliding all over the place. That's really going to help. I got the hole drilled out and also grinded it so that it can receive the bolt. One thing that I noted when I was pre-positioning items, the bolt, because it came off a lawnmower, has these additional edges to it, and those edges are interrupted by this part of the rail. So I used the hacksaw and cut 2 lines after measuring where it was, and then used a hammer and a cold chisel to pound it flat. I also noticed that this point right here extended beyond the flat, and so just for good measure I cut in a V. Same thing, I just cut 2 lines and used the cold chisel and flattened that out. This part of the assembly is done, and the rails are 20 inches long to give you a reference for the size of this. It came with a wing nut, and that's simply what I put back on. So the next part will be to take the rails of the crutch, and we'll attach those with screws. Of course, I'll have to drill some holes. Ideally 4 holes for each side, left and right. So I'm ready to attach the crutch rail to the main support, and so I'm going to start by drilling 3 holes. I'm going to line these 2 pieces up, and I've purchased some machine screws. These are 1 1/4 inches in length and 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to put some lock washers on them. I've attached the crutch rail to the main support, and the crutch rail fits underneath this lip, which is really convenient to have. Started out using a nail set so that the drill bit wouldn't bounce around. You can see I actually missed with this one. No big deal. I just didn't drill it out. Actually used a smaller drill bit. This was an 11/64 for pilot hole, and then 1/4 inch on the drill. On the bits, used a screwdriver and a pair of pliers. Put the nut and bolt and a locking washer on. So that's all it took, and time to do the second one. So it's all attached. It has a free roll, and so now what I want to do is I want to build a basket that hangs down about 3 to 4 inches off the ground and attaches to the rails. So I'm going to start by just using some nylon 30-pound line and see how that works, and then if it does work, then I'll look at starting to reinforce it maybe with some 550 cord. I tested the mono cart and it was an epic fail. Very unstable, continue to want to twist. However, the concepts are here. The basket is hung so that it keeps the weight distribution very low. I tested the mono walker cart and I learned something valuable. I need to make the support area rigid so that the wheel doesn't twist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach some metal from here to here, here to here, and here to here. And then once I have that done, I'm going to take another piece of this shelving and I'll attach it along this area right here. And that should create a nice tight frame so that the wheel assembly will remain in a vertical position so long as I maintain control of the rails here. This is a piece of stair edging. Purchased it a couple years ago when we built the house, and so I've got 2 extra pieces. This is aluminum. It's easy to cut, easy to drill holes through, and so it should also be easy to bend. It's lightweight and very rigid. Here's the first stabilizing bracket. I started by cutting this section off using a hacksaw, and then found out that I could use my tin snips, which work a lot quicker. They do take a bit more brute force to manage. I then used a hammer and a block of wood to shape this. So I set the edge over the block of wood and simply tapped it with the hammer until I was able to secure this angle right here. So I've got 2 of those. And what I'll do next is remove the bolt assembly, fit this piece into position, and repeat the drill hole, and then put the bolt assembly back through. So I'll do that on the left and right side. I've completed attaching 3 cross members. I simply cut those and drill holes and screwed them in place. Tested the cart, it works fine. It remains stable and vertical at this point. But I'll pick up some zip ties and I will attach these 2 racks, and that'll be the packing holding surface area. Lightweight, durable, it'll add some rigidity to the frame. And then the last thing that I'll need to do is put a couple of holes through the ends and run some zip ties through those, and that's what will attach to the hip strap of my pack. And I'll just either use Velcro or rope for that. And the idea is to take 25 or 30 pounds off of my pack, have about 12 to 15 pounds in my pack, and be able to travel a lot more comfortably, a lot further. So the total cost of this project so far was $4, and that was for the nut, bolts, and locking washers. Everything else I had in the garage. Zip ties will probably be about $2.